Worksheet number 1. Thanks for coming. I'm going to jump right into it. Basically, you're going to start with the first one and you're just going to go up to your math class. There is an SAT problem at the end, by the way. Let's jump right in. Let me put me at the top. There we go. I might make that smaller in the future. And I'm wearing a hat because there's a big bright light behind me and I don't want y'all to see that. All right. Let's start. Pre-algebra. Evaluating expressions. Evaluate the expression below when x equals -3 and y equals 5. Okay, not too bad. So this is a classic just plug it in question. So we're going to plug in -3 for this x. And we're going to plug in 5 for this y. Okay, sounds easy enough. Let's do it. So I'm going to copy that too. Boom. X came up. That's a parenthesis. And inside the parenthesis, I'm going to put -3. Bam. Copy the minus. Psh. Copy the 3. And then the y, we're going to do parenthesis 5. Okay. Now from here, we can kind of breathe and we could see like there's no more letters. So this is what I like to call PEMDAS. It's not too much PEMDAS, and ooh, Mr. Rader forgot the 2. Sorry if you saw that notification. Mr. Rader forgot the 2, so you gotta literally copy everything. That was close. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do PEMDAS. So PEMDAS does matter now. That 2 is right there. So we're gonna do -3 squared. So that's -3 times -3. You could write it twice if you really want to, but we could just tell ourselves what's -3 times -3. That's +9. Copy everything else. Slow and steady is the key here, especially if you're in middle school. 2 times 9 is 18. -3 times 5. Take a second. -15. So once again, I'm just doing PEMDAS. So the first one was parentheses. I could write it out, but just Google it. Okay, it's just PEMDAS. And then we did exponents, multiplication, and now the last thing to do is subtraction. So 18 minus 15, 3. There you go. Now somebody might say if you're really young and you're in 6th grade, isn't the parentheses first? So we don't really do parentheses because there's nothing really in them. It's just numbers. So we just have like -3 and 5. There's nothing you can do with that. So we're just not gonna do it. There's nothing to do. So you would just move on to exponents. And then that was the -3 times -3. Cool. All right, awesome. Once again, if you're in pre-algebra, you would in like school, you would kind of stop. But if you really want to go for it, you can. But now we're in Algebra 1. So let's see what they got. Algebra 1, linear inequalities. Solve the inequality for x. Ooh, they're giving us a tip. Be careful with negative numbers. Okay. So let's see. So the first thing we're going to do is, I got to get that x by itself. So pretty standard. There's no y too, so I know they probably want us to get x by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is, to get the x by itself, we're going to move this +7 first. Okay? So to get rid of a +7, we -7 on both sides. Psh. There it is. And then we just copy and paste. I love using that word. -2x, copy the sign. 15 minus 7, 8. And now this is the last step. If you thought that you had to divide the first step, you're usually wrong. Okay, dividing's at the very end. So try to not say divide if someone asks you, or if you ask yourself, what's the first move? It's very rare that it's the first move. It could be, but it's very rare. Divide by the -2 on both sides. Let's change color. I'm new to this, so I'm sure I'll get used to like changing colors and stuff. I do like to color code it. Boom. Ooh, we divided by a negative. See that, guys? Ding, 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 ding. If you divide by a negative, guess what's happening to that inequality? It's flipping. You guys might be asking, what's an inequality? It's just this sign. Okay, so it's literally going to flip. So instead of less than, it's greater than. 8 divided by negative 2, negative 4. Done. Very cool. I guess we should graph it, right? So usually those questions ask to graph it. So to graph it, you would just do this, a number line. I like to put the answer in the middle. That was the negative 4. Some teachers are picky. They want numbers to the left and right. I'll do that. And now we make a decision. It's either an open circle or a closed circle right here. So we're either going to put this or we're going to put this. We got to decide. No line underneath. So since there's not a line under there, we are going to do an open circle. And it's going to, some people like to say it's pointing to the left. See the arrow right here? It's pointing to the left. That's like a way to do it. Oh my gosh, it's pointing to the right. Mr. Rader has stage fright. It's pointing to the right. So it's that. I like to just think about it. X is bigger. That's what this sign means, greater than. So I just like to say X is bigger. So it's going bigger. Bigger means to the right. And that would be the answer on a graph. If you're really ahead, interval notation, it would start at negative 4 like this, because that's the lowest it could be. And it would go to infinity. This is like a bonus, okay? I didn't go into it because that's some algebra 1, you probably don't learn that yet. It's coming though. It's coming. If this is an algebra 2 question, I would have went over that. Okay, awesome. By the way, when I give you these worksheets, if you click this watch solution, the whole worksheet's going to be blank. If you click this on your phone, it would bring you right to this video. Remember, if you want to sign up for my worksheets, the link will be at the end. Geometry, everyone's favorite subject. Sorry for moving around so much. We got triangle angles. Okay. Let's see what we got. In an isosceles triangle, isosceles, wonder what that means. ABC, the vertex angle A is 40 degrees. And the measure of angle B is 4x minus 5. What is the value of x? So let's do some vocab here. What's geometry without some vocab? An isosceles triangle has 2 equal sides. They really helped us with that. Okay, they did it. They did the markings. Which also means they have 2 equal angles. They did not show us that. So we had to know that. Those are called your base angles. Okay? Reason why I say that, like, look, we're going down the rabbit hole here, but we kind of would need to know that because they said vertex right here. So vertex angle A, this is the vertex, which makes that's we would that's good vocab. That means these are the base angles. Okay. So let's see. Find the value of x. Let's go right to it. So if this is an isosceles, if this is 5x minus 5, I know this is also 5x minus 5. So I could write it in there. 5x minus 5. And then we could do we can make the equation. So we have all the angles here. Everybody knows there is 180 degrees in a triangle. So we can add all these to equal 180. So check it out. We got 5x minus 5 plus this other 5x minus 5 right there. Let me redo that. Plus 40 equals 180. And some of you are going to say this, the faster way you could do that if you're feeling smart. Since we have 2 of these, you could write this. This is fast. I'll ignore that. Sorry, full-time tutor business. People text me all day long. So we have 2 of those, which means 2 times them, plus 40 equals 180. We could use this as well, okay? I'm just going to leave that there. That's a smarter equation. That's like a little, it didn't take like all that. This just looks like, but I like this for my kids that are stuck. So let's combine like terms. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm probably going to go faster in the next videos. I do feel like this is going a little slow, but that's my personality. So 5x plus 5x is 10. 10x. These, if you don't know me by now, I just like saying like positive negatives. There is no minus plus, okay? So we have a -5, -5, and a 40. That makes positive 30. You'll get used to that with me as we do this. All right, easy algebra here. If you're in algebra, geometry, you should know this by now. Okay, these are the basics. If you don't, you need to learn them. Bam. And then we got x equals 15. Now in geometry, watch out. Sometimes they want to know what an angle is. So you want to make sure you're done. Did they ask for x? They sure did. If they asked for like angle B or something, we'd have to plug it back in, which is more work. And if you had to plug it back in, we could say, this is extra, by the way. The question did not ask for this. We could plug 15 into there and then just do this math. So that's 75 minus 5. Angle B would be 70. And if you wanted to check your work, that means that this angle is 72. And 70 plus 70 plus 40 is 180. This is how you could check your work on a test. So, like, it's got to make sense, right? It's math. The answer, though, was x equals 15 if you just want to get right to it. Let's change the color so it's not associated with the anything else. There you go. All right, cool. Moving along. I hope this is going okay. Algebra 2 exponent rules. Okay, this is like an easy gimme, okay? So if you're in Algebra 2, I'm sorry I did not give you a complicated one this week. But you better know this. So it's a good one. It's like kind of like it's checking you out. It's making sure you know what's going on here. This is more Algebra 1. So what we're going to do is this is just exponent rules. I like to get the top and bottom cleaned up as much as possible before dealing with both of them at the same time. So that being said, the top, we're going to make them look as nice as we can. So yellow first. Can I make that look good? The answer is yes. I can combine those, and if you're multiplying, you add your exponents, okay? If you could think about it, this is really 6x's, this is really 4x's together. There's 10x's. How can you get that? You could do 6 plus 4, okay? Turquoise or blue, whatever. I would copy that on the bottom. There's nothing you could do with that. That's as clean as that's going to get. Now we're ready for the division rule. So if you have, if it's on top and bottom like that, we're going to you subtract your exponents, okay? There's another way to do it, but we'll leave it at that. So 10 minus 3 is 7. What if it was -7? Anybody know? Let's say it was -7. Then we would do this. That's a little side quest. I wish the problem did that. That'd be mega algebra 2, but not today, folks. They made it too easy. It was this. Okay. Very good. I don't know where that one came from. Not a good algebra 2 question. Sorry, guys. But you better know it. So it kind of is algebra 2 because you better know it. Okay, pre-calculus, logarithms. Evaluate each log without a calculator. This is fun. Can you imagine having this on a final and you forgot logs? That'd be scary. So to do each of these, we're going to do each of them separately. So let's highlight that one. We're going to only deal with that first. So what I like to do is I like to make it equal x. And if you're an absolute pro with logs, you might know what that is already. Okay, so you might not have to watch this. But if you're not, stay tuned. So we're going to do the snail method. So we're basically asking what does this equal? So, x is kind of like a question mark. Like, what does it equal? So we're going to do the snail. The way you do this, it's 2 to the x equals 16. The good word for this is we turned it into exponential form. That's like proper math vocab. So we changed it from log form to exponential form. And then you could ask yourself, 2 to the what is 16? 2 to the, you think about it a little bit, it's going to be 2 to the 4th. Okay, you would sit there and do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and you would eventually get 16. Whoops. So this is a 4. And then the next one, all right, the next log. So I'm going to show you the pro way to do it. Once you get fast, you could say 3 to the what? 3 to the what is 27. So 3 to the what is 27. That's when you're a pro at logs, okay? Or you could have done what I did over here. 3 to the what is 27. The answer is 3. So the 4 was turquoise, 3 was red. Add them up. 7. Done. Easy money. I think I'm going slower than usual, okay? So I will try to speed this up next time. Oh, pre-calc. That was pre-calc. Did I even see a pre-calc yet? That was the pre-calc question. Once again, a little easy, okay? You should just know that. That is in Algebra 2. But the funny thing is they're all linked, okay? So, like, things in Algebra 2 are things you do in pre-calc and so on. This was definitely one that could be shared in Algebra 2. Okay, but you should know it in pre-calc. That's a fact. All right, probably our hardest question of the day. I'm going to be honest, I've never done this, so let's see what we're doing. If 2x minus 3y equals 5, what is the value of the expression below? Let's see. Interesting. So I'm examining this. I see a couple things. I see an equation that I can get something, like I could solve for like x or y and have like a big long equation. That's cool. And then maybe I could substitute it into one of these. That looks a little chaotic. I don't know if that's going to help much. It would, like, if you can imagine it, it's going to look, if you did that, it's going to look like a lot of stuff in one of them. So it's going to look something like this. Or sorry, we would change it to a y. It's going to look something like, whoops. Go away. There we go. I just had a panic attack. It's going to look something like, we would get the same variables. So, like, let's say it looked like this. I made that up. There's probably fractions if we got it to by itself. We'd probably get it to look like that eventually. And then we'd be stuck. So if you were like there's nothing to do after that. So if you were thinking that, then, I wouldn't do that first is what I'm trying to say. So to do this, I would be like, 4 and 8 look a little fishy. If you're trying to turn that into 1/2, that's wrong. You can't do that when they have different exponents like that. Okay, you can't just change it to 1/2. But I know 4 and 8 can both become a 2. So let's try that. So 4 can become 2 squared. You would just have to notice this, okay? I don't really have anything for you if you wouldn't notice that. You would have to just keep practicing problems. 8 would be 2 to the 3rd. And then we know what to do with our exponents there. We multiply them. That's just exponent rules. So we have 2 to the 2x over 2 to the 3y. My next exponent rule that we did this session already, subtract our exponents. So 2 to the 2x minus 3y. So this is all equivalent, okay? I know I did that fast. It's SAT. Come on. It's either we know it or we don't. But yeah, we are learning. And then check this out. Magically, look at what we have here. Same thing. So what we could do is we could plug in 5 for all that. So we really have 2 to the 5. And then 2 to the 5th power is really 32. You'd be able to put that in your calculator, SAT. 32. So, what am I trying to say for this problem? Do what you can, okay? Yes, you could have got y by itself here. You would have got, let me see what you would have got. You would have got this. Look at how crazy this looks. You would have got that if you got y by itself. And then where do you really want to put that here? No, it's going to look crazy, okay? That's the only thing I feel like more than half my students would say do that first. They would say, get y by itself. Nah, like work with this guy first. This guy can, there's something up with him. Okay, so we did power of exponents. We did our exponent rules. And then look who showed up. 2x minus 3y. Change that baby to a 5. 2 to the 5th, 32. Awesome. If you liked what you saw today and you're coming from YouTube, go to this website, www.mathtutorboca.com/practice. There you can sign up for these worksheets, and you'll get these worksheets blank. You could work on them, and then if you're stuck on a question, you could click this button, the watch solution, and it will bring you right to the problem you're working on. Okay? This is my first one. Go easy on me. I'll probably make it, if it felt too long, I'll make it shorter. I'll get to the point. If it felt too short, I would do the opposite. Okay? Well, that was practice 1. Have a good one, guys. Mr. Raider out.